So hi, I'm MarieAnn. I am a veteran of the United States Air Force. I was a cop in the Air Force, and I deployed to Afghanistan. So, part of the thing I never wanted to write about was my experience in the military, but also as a veteran and what I am privileged to see. And I really think it's always cliche when people use the quotes, but I think it's the perfect term to use it. So the first poem is a short one. It's called Fear. It's kind of a premise that would be seen throughout my manuscript. Something we can all relate to, but something as a veteran, it stays with you throughout. When it's dark, when it's light, it doesn't matter. So fear. There's a revulsion to the discomposure felt when suspicion clings to our nightmares, like some reverence known by a shiver that spills into despair and transforms trembles and cold sweats until the anxiety becomes the foundation welcoming each fear. So that's fear.
We can do one big clap at the end for poetry reading.
Okay. I had to ask my husband, how should I read this? Because in the military, there are certain things you'll hear over intercom, and it will be repeated 3 times. These are warning signs or exercising terms that are used. For example, if there's an exercise that's face wide, they'll say exercise, exercise, exercise. Everything's in 3s, so it's not misconstrued or heard in another way that it shouldn't be heard. So this one's called incoming. So if you have any questions about certain terms you hear after, please hit me up. I will answer them. This goes into a lot of military slang. 100 feet from their bee hut, a mortar crashed like an alien spacecraft into the stones that made the road we walked on every day, the sandbox. Incoming, incoming, incoming. The sirens sounded after the indirect fire, too close for comfort, nearly killing my fellow airmen as they slept. First night in country. I took a cold shower and was interrupted, told to get out, to get to a hard shelter, and then I did just that for the first week or 2. But only a few others did the same. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Not fucking again, an army soldier said. As we sat in a tent, separate from each other, they were playing poker. It happened so frequently, I acted as I had observed, ignoring the threats from the insurgents, blasting off mortars, because by then I knew what I had signed up for. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Fuck it. I'm staying in bed. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Fuck it. I've got to eat. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Fuck it. I need a smoke. Incoming, incoming, incoming. Fuck it. When it's my time to go, I'll go. We were fortunate, or fucking dumb, to understand what could have been. The veteran who manipulated PTSD. All of these are true, by the way. So, in saying that, I wrote this with something in mind, and I meant to include it, and I feel I will have to include it somewhere later. This is a very big story on, some will see it as white privilege, but some will also see it as veteran status privilege, because unfortunately it's a mixture of those things. I did change one thing in here, because it would be considered classified information, so I'll leave it at that. This is called The Veteran Who Manipulated PTSD. There is a veteran who died, who used to be a ward of a VA hospital. He was tried for murder, but it was blamed on his PTSD because he didn't feel remorse because Vietnam transformed him into a killing machine. But the blonde, 5-year-old boy he disemboweled was not an enemy when he abducted him, and was an autistic boy and could not articulate or understand that he was being murdered by a veteran who is now dead. He used to get his teeth cleaned back when he was an inpatient at the VA, and the nurses there knew he was sane. Though honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps, he admitted years later to the RN there, "I knew what I did, and I'd do it again." Then he would smile, sending chills down her spine as he whisked away to the loony bin at the VA, where he thankfully finally died. So, let's see. Listening, waiting, wondering. You're gonna see. So, listening as the void that has surrounded the bedroom of white walls, tinted a hue of gray by a nightlight and shadows, stalks my brain. Waiting for something unknown somewhere in the night to break the silence. An open window, a car races by, the neighbors, country music blares, my husband talks in his sleep. Wondering what other soul couldn't sleep or turn down the noises or turn off the darkness inside our wide awake heads. Guess I can do one more. Okay, so either one that I choose is pretty dark. I'm gonna try this.
Do them both, Marie.
Yeah,
Let me do
read
both.
Right.
All right, so I'll do the longer one first since it's, no, actually I'll do the shorter one because it'll set you up for the longer one. So the first one is called Goodnight Marine. All right, it will explain itself. Terrifying dreams awaken me of one sunny day, of you hanging there from a wooden beam in the red garage. Those memories no longer push me to the brink. I ignore the shadows of the parted love that dwells without a smile, sleeping inside my sanity. Cowboys and angels were the words sung from plumb, motionless lips, and I wanted to fly into your view and have you whisper goodnight as I cut you down from your noose. And then this poem would follow later in my manuscript. It's called Looking at Silence. I peered through the window of the red garage, even though Joe's screams should have curbed my curiosity. No, goddammit, no. Towards the door she raced, but it was locked, and her daughter and I were left there standing. I pulled the American flag back, revealing his muscular body hanging, swinging back and forth while country music droned on. Attoseconds passed. I was inside with him, adrenaline pumping, but it was only the silence I could hear. I focused on that thought, find something sharp, and there was a hacksaw. It didn't work. Fuck. There was a razor, to no avail. The pounding at the door was the only solution. Flung the door open, then raced back to his side, all while thinking Marines tie such exquisite knots. Joe's daughter and I held on to his heavy body until he was released from his bondage, falling on top of us with his plump, plump lips. Thank you.